So guys, the Bayer Leverkusen career mode is complete. I've done 2 seasons there. I've done 2 seasons with Girona. I've done 2 seasons with Arsenal. It is now time to do a road to glory, and that means more than 2 seasons. However, I'm not looking to do 6, 7, 8 seasons. I'm not doing MGH United. I'm taking over a team either in League One or the Championship. And I'm thinking, actually, I'm going to do the Championship. I'm just not feeling a really long series, but I still want to take a team that has potential to get back into the Premier League and start building and so on. So I'm going to give you guys some choices. There will be a vote in my Discord. There is a link down below right now, discord.gg/MGH if you want to join by typing it into your URL on Google Chrome or whatever. But if you join the Discord, go down into the voting section. Please pick a team. Of course, the winning team is the one with the most votes, and I'll take that team over. However, if it's a tie or if it's just really super close, then maybe I'll go to a second vote. So, as you can see here, we're looking at Hull City. They are option number 1, a championship team with their own stadium, a load of really good young players. They've got some players on loan that maybe we could make permanent. And what I should say, guys, is this Road to Glory will have a heavy focus on the youth academy and signing young players. I'm not going to be going for big, unrealistic signings. You're not going to see João Felix, things like that. And I get some frustrations with career modes where I do sign popular players and already very good players, but it's kind of just part of the journey of playing with bigger teams. So if we take over Hull City, I think it's very clear that the team itself is more than strong enough to compete at the top of the Championship, at least in that top 4, top 5, going for maybe promotion via the playoffs. But either way, very excited to potentially take over Hull City. They've got a couple of players that I really like the look of, a great defence, a load of players with real faces, which is always cool for me. But one of the most important things is a real stadium. I don't like playing in the generic stadiums, so that's a massive plus for me. Now for the next option, Norwich, another team that has a real stadium, a load of great players, individual quality galore, really. Loads of real faces, great kits. And let's face it, are they a Premier League team in waiting? They should be, right? Norwich have been in the Premier League so many times over the years and then bounced straight back down to the Championship. Of course, my aim would be to get them into the Premier League and keep them there. And by the way, I know it's a road to glory, but I'm only looking to do 4 or 5 seasons. If I don't win the Champions League, then so be it. I just want to see how far I can take a team within 4 to 5 seasons. And the reason for that, guys, is because YouTube doesn't work like it used to. If you're doing the same content for too long, it just drops off. It falls off a cliff. It doesn't get promoted. And I lose out on a lot of viewers. People get bored of it as well. And I get it. People have grown out of these really long, well, most, I should say, of the really long road to glories. So that's why I don't want to do it for too long. And I think Norwich, Hull City, great options because they're already somewhat pretty solid in the Championship, but maybe would need a season or two to get in the Premier League and then a couple of seasons to solidify and stay there. So if you like option 2 and you like the look of Norwich, then please vote for them. Again, Youth Academy as a focus, bringing in players that suit the Norwich play style, and I'll make sure I build up some of these young players, one of them being their striker, Ida. I think that's how you say it. Ida, the 67 rated striker there. He would be my main man going forward. I try and grow him as fast as possible. But yeah, Norwich, option number 2. And now moving on into option 3, and that is QPR. For me, I've got a lot of memories of QPR. I'll always remember the game they took part in, the Aguero. I still cannot believe QPR threw that game away like that. A little bit fishy, just saying. Another team with great young players, real faces, real stadium. It's just a good option. And same as the other options, Youth Academy, building the young players. Of course, there are quite a few older players. Begovic in goal, for example, good enough for a season or two, but maybe I'd need to replace him. There'd be quite a lot of work to do with QPR. I don't think I'd be getting them into the Premier League within 2 seasons. It'd probably take 3. So if you're in, maybe if you're into more of a a more difficult road to glory, and maybe it's less of a road to glory this time around. It's just the term everyone uses, but to me, at least, that's more like League Two, League One, all the way up to the Premier League, winning the Champions League. But return to glory maybe is a little bit more of it's still an RTG. It's a little bit more of a proper term, but Field in midfield, really like him. I think QPR could be a good choice, so they are option number 3. Up next, we are going to be talking about Stoke. They are option 4, and this would be slightly different. I would take Stoke City, and for those of you who don't remember, there was a period where Stoke City were seemingly buying a lot of very technically gifted players, and it was a surprise to a lot of people because Stoke are known as a team that just lump it forward and crouches up front, and they weren't doing that for a while, and a lot of people called them Stoke-Alona because they had a few ex-Barcelona players, for example. Now, this series would be different because I would like to bring Stoke-Alona back. I would go for young Spanish talent, maybe go ultra gegenpress, tiki-taka football, real stadium, real faces on some of the players. It'd be different. It would definitely be less realistic, though. So if you're not looking for that, if you want something more realistic, then obviously vote for the other options. But Stoke, just throwing it in there. I love the stadium, by the way. I love the Stoke stadium in the game. The way the light beams down, it's just a really nice stadium to play in. But this one would definitely be a bit more out there. I wouldn't be signing your typical realistic targets. I'd probably go a little bit crazy with this one, especially with the Youth Academy. I'd be going Portuguese, Spanish, like, the proper technical players, maybe a bit of Brazil in there. It could be a bit of fun. And then the final option, and these are just the championship teams, of course, there will be an option 6 coming up shortly. But option 5 is West Brom. Similar to the first 3, I'd go with a realistic route here. I love the stadium. They've got a lot of great individual players, real faces, all of that stuff. But again, Youth Academy, taking them back into the Prem, solidifying them, returning them to glory. So those are the championship options. Make sure you vote on those. However, option 6 is just quite simple. Pick a League One team instead. I'm not doing League Two and I'm not doing Premier League. It's either the first 5 options where I've picked a team, but option 6 would be, I don't want any of those. I want you to do League One. And then, of course, we'd have to go again. So to look into League One teams, Reading, Shrewsbury, Stevenage, Wigan, Wickham, Barnsley, Blackpool, Bolton, Bristol Rovers, Burton Albion, Cambridge, Carlisle, Charlton Athletic, Cheltenham Town, Derby, Exeter, Fleetwood, Leyton Orient, Lincoln City, Northampton, Oxford, Peterborough, Port Vale, Portsmouth. I wouldn't do Portsmouth. I've done them before. And there's Reading again. So it would just be a case of let's vote again, this time for League One teams. But I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm feeling like a return to glory, less so of a road to glory, I guess. Picking one of the teams that I've talked about because they're kind of medium to somewhat one of the strong teams in the league. So it wouldn't take too much of a crazy effort to get them back in the Prem. And then, using Youth Academy players, boosting them as high as we can stats-wise, and just getting as far as we can. Now, of course, it might be that no one wants any of this at all. Maybe no one wants a return to glory, road to glory type series. And if that's the case, then obviously I'll see the feedback and maybe we go to, I don't know, Italy or France or something like that and do a top team again and just another 2 seasons. But I think it's time. I think it's time we take over a smaller, well, I don't want to say smaller, but, a team of less ability. And I've got new mods. I've got a new gameplay mod, which works really well. I've been testing it. And I'm excited to get playing with a lower rated team for a change. So thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys are happy with the choices. If you're not, then obviously let me know. But vote. Get in the Discord right now. Follow me on Twitter as well. And hopefully the right team wins.